Brought to you by patreon.com/inspireddisorder and inspireddisorder.com/ting.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Vampires versus the Bronx, a new teen horror movie on Netflix. A movie that I probably would have watched many, many times over and over again as a kid. I thought it was a lot of fun. Of course, Halloween is coming up. We are in October already. Surprise, surprise. And this is one of the new horror films that have hit Netflix. And I'm not a big horror movie guy. I do enjoy more of the family-friendly horror movies. I also watched the Hubie Doobie Halloween movie, the Adam Sandler one. I might talk about that one next week. But I wanted to talk about this one because it's like it came out. I saw it on the thing. It's like, hey, here's a movie you might like, and I looked at it. I'm like, I'll check it out, and yeah, I loved it. It's about these three kids, right? Teenagers, preteen. I don't know. They're kids, and in the Bronx, and they're trying to raise money to save a bodega that's potentially going to go out of business. They're dealing with gentrification. This whole movie, like vampires in this movie, are really it really fits vampires. The vampires are basically white people or capitalism. I mean, a lot of people that are buying up real estate and putting small mom and pop businesses out of business tend to be from a lot of different countries. I know China is buying up a lot of properties and things like that. But in this case, vampires are buying up properties in the Bronx, and they find out that these kids are trying to save this bodega. And kind of the kids stumble on the fact that maybe these people, this company that's buying up these properties, maybe there's something wrong with them, and maybe there's something wrong is vampires. So they got to go and they got to prove that that the vampires are the ones doing this, and that they have to expose it and all that kind of stuff. They also another aspect of kind of movies and kind of a tool movies have to disseminate exposition is usually like newscasts. Like there'll be news broadcasts that kind of fill people in on stuff, almost act like a narrator. This one is a live streamer, which I thought was a fun kind of evolution for that type of tool in storytelling. To have this streamer kind of filling in and narrating what's going on. I really enjoyed it. But the kids, following these kids on their journey, of course, it's one thing I love is the diverse cast. I think the only white people that are in this movie are vampires. Everybody else is, Puerto Rican, black, a mix of something. Just a diverse group of characters, which I enjoyed. Because you're going to get different, you're going to be able to tell a story in a much more beautiful way. It's going to allow you to have a lot of different things instead of just like your typical white kids where parents act a certain way that we've seen like millions of times. Like one of the kids is Puerto Rican, and his mom, like when he goes home and he's trying to I don't know if he's trying to convince her that there's vampires, but he's trying to say that there's something wrong with these people. And she does, what you would expect, a Puerto Rican mom or a Latina mom would kind of react. It's like, we're going to go to church. We're going to pray this away. I just love this so much. And like the different friends, one of the friends is kind of on a bad path. He kind of does like these shady things for this guy he knows, right? But not all the characters are that. Like in most movies, like the black guy is also the criminal in the movie. In this one, yes, he's a black kid, and yes, he does criminal things, but he's not. He's like one of a group of kids that are like nerdy, normal kids, which I love. I love that. It's not just your generic stereotypes of stuff. And there's a turn that happens in this movie with the kid that does the kind of criminal stuff, because there's a thing where the vampires hire this gang to kind of to mess things up, to destroy property, right? So that they can come in, swoop in, and buy this property that people are like, they're trying to scare them out of, like, what would you do if you're a business owner and then your business gets destroyed, right? And you're being offered millions of dollars by somebody that wants to buy you out. You'd be encouraged to take the money to get out of there, because it may or may not be be a bad neighborhood all of a sudden or whatever. Um, and there's a moment where this gang, they're employed to do some stuff, and this kid, doesn't go along with it, but then has is able to relate his position within that kind of criminal entity to the vampire's assistant. I forget what they're called. Familiar, right? The vampires have a familiar, and there's an interaction that happens towards the end of the movie between that kid and that familiar, where they're able to they relate. He relates to him, his position, and they find a common ground, and he understands that the familiar is like the little bitch of the vampire crew, and they don't respect him, and they he just does their shit, and he'll always do their shit because he's always going to be disrespected in that group. And it's a really powerful kind of real moment. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It's a fun movie. I'm generally not a fan of movies that use Christianity in a way that, like, one where they act as if it's real. But with vampires, the kind of the intertwining of vampires and like Catholicism is pretty woven. I mean, with the holy water, with crosses kind of being their kind of a symbol of something that makes them afraid, that hurts them. It's kind of, you kind of have to. You can't really. It's hard to do one without the other. And I'm not a big vampire fan in general. There are very few vampire movies that I care about at all. I'm trying to think. I mean, Interview with a Vampire is interesting. The What They Do in the Shadows, is that what it's called? More comedic take on vampires. I enjoyed that. But in general, vampires are a monster, and maybe because they are so intertwined with Christianity and Catholicism that it turns me off as not being scary. Maybe that's it, but it for whatever reason, despite those tropes being in this movie, I really enjoyed the movie. It's really fun to watch these kids kind of there's kind of a mystery, them trying to figure stuff out, and then also, survive, trying to save their neighborhood by getting rid of the evil gentrifiers, vampire gentrifiers. Just a really fun, especially, and it's not specifically a Halloween movie. It's just like a teen horror movie. I don't know if it specifically even takes place during Halloween time, because they're trying to raise money. They're going to do a big like block party to try and raise money for the bodega. And it's just fun. It's a fun, just a different way of telling the same story in a lot of ways, but in using this kind of these different types of characters and relating the vampires and the evil antagonists of the movie to real world gentrification that's going on. I thought it all fit. I thought it fit better than it used to, and I really enjoyed the movie. Great acting too. I thought all the kids' acting was great. I thought the writing was good. It's just a solid kids movie. I really had a lot of fun watching it, and I'd highly recommend it if you're looking for something not necessarily scary, but a fun, like, adventure horror comedy kids movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. So check it out. It's on Netflix. Vampires versus the Bronx. Make sure you support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/inspired disorder. You can binge the full week of the Ray Taylor Show ad-free, save a ton of money on the many faces, and download raw Photoshop files of all the Photoshops I do. It's only $3 a month to sign up. You get a bunch of benefits, so sign up now over at patreon.com/inspired disorder. Get yourself $25 in cell phone credit through Ting. Sign up through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. Get yourself some amazing cell phone service at low rates, starting off with, of course, the $25 credit when you sign up through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. It's a cell phone service that I use. I brought my iPhone over to it. I pay like $15 a month because I'm not using any data. I'm not using any minutes because I'm working from home. And if you're working from home and you want to save tons of money on your cell phone service, I would recommend checking out Ting. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting, and get yourself $25 in credit that you can use to transfer your device, to buy a device, to pay for your monthly bill, whatever you want, $25 because I love you. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspired disorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!